Should this have been called the Mini Retro Palette? Some might say, some might say. This is the new Natasha Denona Mini Rose Palette. It finally arrived. I know you've probably seen 70,000 videos on it. And I thought, should I even bother? And I thought, yes, I will bother, just in case you've been thinking about picking it up, just in case you've already picked it up and you want some inspiration. So here I am to review this new mini palette from Natasha Denona, which took its sweet old time to get to me. As you can see, it is a gorgeous, soft, rosy type of color story. I have to say that I do love these little mini palettes because they are so easy to travel with and they have your essentials in there. And so I wanted to pick this up and see what kind of looks we can get with it. This little mini palette is $28 US and $40 Canadian. And I think most of them are repeat shades. We'll get into some looks and some comparisons to the retro palette. I don't want to blind you here, but I just want to point out that the sticker on the back that says the shade names and everything is crooked. It's crooked. It's not placed in a pristine kind of way. It is haphazardly slapped on there. And I know I'm being petty, but am I? Because that really, really bothers me. When I'm paying this much money for an eyeshadow formula, I want it to be perfect. Perfect. I don't want to look at the back of my palette and see this like cockeyed sticker just sitting there. Is it just me? Am I being picky? I don't know. Aside from that, it is a beautiful, beautiful color story. And if I have not said hello, I haven't. Hi. If you're new here, hi, I'm Rhoda. Welcome or welcome back. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed yet, try doing that down below. That would be amazing. And let's get into talking about this little 5-pan mini, very travel friendly palette. Do some looks and talk about whether or not you might need it. These are the shades Golden Rose Apart, not apart, but opart, but I think it's pronounced apart, Flamingo, Psychedelic, and Andy. Let's swatch them really quickly. Here is Golden Rose. It's like a soft pink with a little bit of a golden shift to it. It's absolutely stunning. Here is Opart or Apart. And it is a matte brown shade that you can find in the retro palette. Here is Flamingo, another matte, very neutrally light pink type of shade. Psychedelic, which is a beautiful sparkly pink, which is like a chroma, one of her chroma formulas. And here we have Andy, which is, a mauvey matte shade. So those are the swatches. They look beautiful, beautiful. There are 3 shades in here that are already existing in the retro palette. And I just want to do a quick side-by-side comparison because although they are the same shade, they seem to be a different formula. Opart, the darkest matte, here it is in the mini palette, and then this is Opart in the retro palette. As you can see, this one is much creamier, so it's in her cream to powder formula in the retro palette, whereas in the mini palette it is a regular powder matte. Not sure if you can see the difference. They are the same shade when you apply them on the eyes, but you can see the shininess and the creaminess. This is in the midi palette Opart, and this is in the mini palette that was just released. So they are the same. Let me swatch them again, just so you can see. So they're the same shade. There just is a difference in the formula, in the creaminess. Next up in the repeat shades is Psychedelic. So this is Psychedelic in the new mini. And this is Psychedelic in the retro palette, the bigger palette. They are the same formula. They feel exactly the same. Next up in the repeat shades is Andy. So here is Andy in the little mini. And here is Andy again in the Retro palette. And again, this one is a true powder eyeshadow. And this one in the Retro palette is much more creamy. Let me show you my finger so you can see the difference. Again, you can definitely see the shine from the cream to powder formula in the Retro palette versus the mini palette. Let me swatch again, just so you can see again the difference. So the creaminess of the Retro palette kind of changes it a little bit, but it does dry down to a powder. So it's just a different consistency, but overall you get the same shade. You have 3 of these shades if you have this one. The other 2 are existing, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on it, but I do believe they exist in Natasha Denona's like Humongo palettes, like the 28 shade palettes, but they're not anything that cannot be duplicated, if you know what I mean. It's the Flamingo shade, the Rose Gold shade, which I'm sure you could find in your existing collection. However, let's get into some eyeshadow looks right now. I think I have my lighting right today. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to use Flamingo right in the center here for both eye looks and just spread it all over the eye. I do have concealer and powder already on my eyes as a primer, but I just want to get this all over my lid because for me, it is very, very close to my skin tone, a little bit more brightening, but a nice base to add for an eyeshadow look. And I'm just getting this all over the lid. I think this will be a nice base for any look that you do with this palette. And also maybe to diffuse any harsh lines that you may have. That's what I would use this one for. I didn't mention this is the Refer number 33, which is flat and wide. And when you want to apply a shadow all over, it's very, very effective in doing that. Refer 14 going into Andy, tapping in there. And I'm going to start to apply this to the outer corner and my crease and just get all over there. This is such a pretty shade. I love it in the Retro palette and obviously love it in this one. Even though they're a different formula, the one in the Retro is a little bit more, it's not a little bit more, it's a cream to powder, and this one is actually a powder. And I don't mind either formula, to be honest with you, but this one is gliding on like butter, even though it's not a cream. I just want to add a little bit more to the outer part of my eye and above my crease because I have deep set eyes. I want it to peek through where this bone of mine that disturbs me, it doesn't disturb me, but you know what I'm saying? It gets in the way when I'm trying to do this stuff. But I'm trying to accept myself as I am and work with it. That is so beautiful. Andy is one of the most beautiful mauvey pink shades. If you like pink, but you don't want to look sick on the eyes, you want a little bit of a pink look, like a mauvey look, and it's like the perfect in between purple and pink, not too purple. It's beautiful. Now I'm going to take Refer number 1 brush, tap into a part, tap in there, and I want to deepen this outer corner. Tap that in there. And then I'm going to start bringing it in a little bit. Flip my brush over when I don't want too much pigment, when I'm bringing it towards the center of my eye. And that's looking gorgeous. Love that. Again, another shade that was cream to powder in the Retro and strictly a powder in the mini, but performing beautifully. Now I'm going to take my pinky and go into rose gold. And I'm going to tap it in the center of my lid. That's gorgeous. And I'm always weary of pinks on my eyes because I don't want to look sickly, but this is not it. This is so, so pretty. Refer 21 brush, and I'm going to go into psychedelic, and I'm not even going to, oops, I'm not even going to spray my brush. I'm just going to tap off just in case we have any fallout from those sparkles. And I want to go into the inner part of my eye. Yeah. So I can't lie. I'm going to say I was a little bit salty about getting this palette so late, and now I'm using it and it's just so effortless. It's effortless. I'm going to take a little bit more of psychedelic and bring it a little bit further down in my tear duct here because I want to brighten this inner corner and then connect it to the rest. Normally, I would add a liner, but I don't think I want to with this look. I want to keep the drama over here and just add a little bit of mascara and call it a day. You could definitely use opart or apart to line, give you a nice definition on your lash line. But today I think I'm going to leave it like this because I love it. Milk Kush Primer, Jones Road Black Mascara. And there we go. Look, number one, I'm not adding anything to my lower lash line today because my eyes are extremely sensitive today. And I don't want to run the risk of watery eyes for the sake of this video or any day. But I think that looks just beautiful. Don't you? I do. Okay, let's try and get a little bit more dramatic on this eye. I'm going to go into opart with the same 01 rougher brush. I'm going to get this on my outer part of my lid, a little bit above my brow bone. Keep tapping that on. Then again, flipping my brush. Hope you can see this. Bringing it over top. We already have Flamingo as a base on this eye. And I just want to bring this above here. I don't want to use this same brush because it's a little bit wide for the inner corner. So I'm going to switch it up, grabbing Refer 26. And I'm going to place opart, same shade, right in the inner part of my eyeball, leaving the center completely bare. Well, there's Flamingo under there. Now I'm going to take my pinky and dip into psychedelic again because I think that's my favorite shade in this. Well, actually, I kind of love them all. I love them all. And I'm going to tap in the center of my lid where we don't have any shadow. It's so hard to do this with my right hand. Like, what am I doing? What am I, Charlie Angel? That was so cheesy. Sometimes when I'm doing my videos, the stuff that comes out of my mouth, okay, that is edited out, you have no idea because flies out of my mouth, okay? It just does. And I'm like, that is highly not cool and a highly, not inappropriate, but just, it's just not for this video. You know what I mean? That little halo eye that we have going on is just beautiful. I just want to kind of marry the two a little bit more. Grabbing the same Refer 01 brush and just tapping over where psychedelic and opart meet on both sides just to make it look more smooth. And I think for this eye, I'm going to add liner. Before I add liner, I want to go back into psychedelic and add it as my inner corner. Just to add a little sparkle in this area right here. Okay, you could add like a black liquid liner to this and make it a really nice nighttime or daytime look, a nice smoky halo eye. However, today we're going to be efficient and I'm going to use the same palette, taking my BK Beauty 209, this very thin angled brush that I love to use when I'm using eyeshadow for my eyeliner. Sorry if you can see my mirror in this shot. I'm going to try and crop and get as close as possible, but I'm using Opart again just to create a little bit of a wing. And it's the same shade, even though it's more diffused on the eyeshadow, it just obviously works together. And I want to define this outer part just a little bit more. And again, I'm not going to go on my lower lash line today. I'm sorry, because I can't, because my eyes are extremely sensitive today, which is so strange. Well, it's not strange, but it's fitting actually, because I wanted to do this video. So I'm going to bring it in just a third of the way, and I just wanted to show you that you can use this Opart shade as your liner if you wanted to. Same primer and mascara in this eye, and I will be right back. Okay, so there you have two looks. This one a little bit more day friendly, this one a little bit more glammy and for nighttime or whatever you wish, right? You can wear this whenever you want, but I wanted to show you the versatility of this palette because you can really get smoky with it, do something a little bit more dramatic versus daytime. This palette has been criticized a little bit for having so many repeat shades. Actually, they're all repeat shades. However, if you don't have those midi palettes or those larger Natasha Denona palettes, then you have it in this. I think this should have been the mini retro palette, not the mini rose palette, in my opinion. The other thing I want to say is, how travel friendly is this? You have it all in here. If this is your color story, the formulas are amazing. Even though the shades are repeat shades, the formulas are a little bit different. And these formulas performed beautifully. They applied so easily to the eye. I am not disappointed at first. First of all, I was a little bit jaded because it took so long to get to me. And that hasn't been like a good thing with me ordering from Natasha Denona's website lately. And so I was like, am I even gonna like this? That was me just being, annoyed. However, the formula, beautiful. Everything applied so easily, like butter, and wonderful. So if this is your color story, you like to travel with small little palettes, if the retro palette is your jam, then you will love this to take on the go. I love it. I love it. If you actually clicked on this video because you've already seen a million reviews of this palette, thank you. And if you hadn't and you still clicked on this video, thank you again. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found that helpful. Please do consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. That would be amazing. Hit that bell button so that you're notified every time I do post a video, and hit the like button because that really helps my channel out, and I so appreciate it. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.